share some of the stuff you're working through?
On personal level, like,
If you don't mind.
well, I mean, I got diagnosed with a heart condition like last summer, so it's been kind of just like a lot of lifestyle changes and things like that, and going sober, the whole walk with the sobriety is kind of. I still ain't really gotten adjusted to the lifestyle 100%, but I've been dedicated to it. Just more so for the health reasons, more than anything else. And yeah, that's been like a huge part of what's been a lot of like my personal time and mental space being kind of occupied on those things. Really just now starting to get back to like taking my music serious. Just, it's been a lot with the personal stuff and then not really having much to say as far as getting in the studio and, wanting to try to make art out of the situation. It just hadn't happened up until recently, like where I was able to kind of comfortably put some of that stuff in words and make art out of it. So, it's coming together though. You kind of start getting sad, you start having the why me's and all those different emotions that start to set in. It was a lot, but yeah, just over time, that's your own personal battle to deal with, Just, I guess, once you get past the expectations of expecting people to care more than maybe, than what they're able to or be there for, more than what they're able to at the time, that could kind of affect your mood, affect you, personally, spiritually, and things like that. You start to maybe get a little angry. But yeah, like, yeah, I was just more so, like I said, just like I always try to divert it back to just, I got to stay on this road to getting back right, try to be progressive about it. You sitting up in the hospital and every day you might not be losing money, but you ain't making money, and then you come home and you all fucked up in the head, you sad, you depressed, you got this going on and that going on, and you laid up in the bed trying to recover, you on medications now, and your body's different, and you just not even thinking about hustling like that, for the time. And yeah, man, shit, it impacted my pockets, and then, once your bread ain't right, people stop fucking with you the same way. Once your money low, or you stop making, you stop earning, and stop doing. A lot of people leave. A lot of people gonna go and fuck with whoever is beneficial to them. So once it kind of stopped being beneficial for me to be that person that everybody kind of circulated around or orbited around, yeah, it just kind of started to get real lonely. A lot of people gonna leave, especially the people who, you just run into in passing and it's always love, like, oh, what's up, bro? But, those they gonna be the first to go. You feel me? That it might not be hurtful, it might, you might feel it, but you start to realize that you didn't have expectations for them people. You know, relationship wise, your girl might leave. And that might be probably the worst one, because you pouring into her and you expecting her to be more for you and she just can't do it or she wasn't ever going to do it, however it planned out. But, it's going to be some people that end up surprising you that's still going to rock with you. And you just got to focus in on them people and just remember to pour into them like they poured into you when it's, when you back right. You can't worry about the people that left. You got to focus on people that's still rocking with you. life get hard, and it's once it get hard, it seems like it only get worse before it get better. You feel me? So if it's just now starting to get hard and you looking around and you just now starting to see people leaving and you just now starting to see people switch up, now's a good time to be able to focus in on who's showing up for you. It might only be a couple of people, less than a handful, and it might not be the people that you thought or that you might even necessarily want around, but they might be putting in the effort. You just get to the point to where, like, when those expectations that you had for the people that you was doing the most for, you really want those people to be there, like you feel some type of way about those people that you really went out your way for, that you really, really cared about, and they not performing, they not showing up for you. But you really do got to focus on the people who rocking with you. And I feel like, yeah, man, it really do dwindle down to less than a handful. It don't matter how many friends you got. It don't matter how popular you are. A lot of people gonna leave. Definitely the hustle was impacted a lot. But it forced me to find other ways to get it, forced me to be more clever, forced me to stop thinking so like one dimensionally, like stop thinking of myself as just this hustler who this is the only way I could survive. It's a million hustles under the sun, so, just finding more ways to reincorporate your other skills into your life. That was really what it was. Like I said, I'm always ready to, accept the challenge that's put in front of me. So, and that was a big challenge for real, because I just felt like a lot of my mentality was based around me being a hustler. I look at my hustle as an art form too, because I always try to move differently. Like I always try to be innovative with it, find my own lane with it, and I identify what makes me unique. Whether it be the way I approach it, the way that I market myself, or what it is that I'm doing with it. So it's like music is just like, it's another form of art, just like painting, drawing, whatever your medium is. And I always just look at all of it that is as far as it concerns me, it's art. It's an art to it. It's a lifestyle. It's an artistic lifestyle to be a hustler and carve your own lane, because it ain't really no one right way to do it. I was kind of more like a Robin Hood kind of character with it, Like maybe I was a little too, I tried to be too philanthropic about it, Like I cared too much about saving a lot of people and trying to take care of a lot of people and put other people on, just because I just noticed that it was like, man, all right, we making money at the expense of the people that surround us. And, a lot of people, they don't care. They'll sell drugs to their own family, they'll sell it to whoever. They gonna get their money. And I don't necessarily have nothing to say about what they do. I don't care about what the next person do. I always knew that when it was my turn, I was gonna take care of people, I didn't see that from my brother that much, Like he was more cutthroat. He was more relentless. Like he was ruthless. He wanted his money. He didn't care who you was, what it was, you feel me? Don't even come over here. Don't try to get involved if you ain't gonna pay what you owe, or whatever the case was, you feel me? He stood on that. And me, I was just a little bit different, you feel me? Like I was just on some you need to put on, I got you. You feel me? You need some work, I got you. You feel me? You need some money, I got you. That was always how I was, just because I wanted to be that person. I wanted to get in that spot to where if you needed something, you could come to me. You knew that. Everybody knew that. And, you know, that come with its ups and downs. That come with its own challenges and all that. But, like, that was in my DNA for real. As much as I learned from what he was doing, I feel like it was more important what he wasn't, that, what I didn't see from the people around me was that I wanted to apply that to my life, to my character, to my story, you feel me, that I took care of people. You can't take it personal. That's what I'm realizing, because everything that you took it upon yourself to do for other people, it's going to come a day when you start realizing that you got these expectations for people to reciprocate that, or to be there in ways that you would, or you maybe have been there for them. But you also are going to realize that they didn't ask you to do that. You took it upon yourself to do that. You took it upon yourself to care more than the next person would care. You took it upon yourself to do more than the next person would do. But nobody asked you to do that, So when it gets to that point where you're looking around and you realizing that the reciprocity ain't coming, you feel me? At the end of the day, sometimes, you have to accept the fact that you're just a human and you go through human emotions. I think that, when you're in the streets and all that, you get to a point to where it's expected of you to not show it. And just none of that's real, though. You're not like some robot who don't have a heart, So the longer you try to hide that, the longer you try to ignore, the fact that you really go through real things, you just kind of prolonging your progress as a person, And yeah, man, I feel like as time goes on, it becomes a lot easier for you to accept new people into your life that's willing to love you and care for you. And, you just know what to look for the next time around, or not to like overinvest yourself the next time around until people show you what you need to see. I think that people just forget that it's a learning experience. The human experience is really a learning experience. My dad, I would say that he set the precedent of like, I don't dress like him, or I don't really move the way that he would have, back in the day when he was doing his thing. But, he was very much like a 3-piece suit and Stacey Adams kind of guy, So I was raised like that, and just me being the person that I was, like me being in the streets and all that, like I'm not about to be in the streets with guys like around me and I'm the only one in a suit, wearing loafers and wearing gaiters, and you feel me? It's like, I know as cool as that sounds, and it's like the ideology of it is like, it's fly. It's like you on some super fly shit, on some pimp shit or whatever, you feel me? But that's the embodiment of like how cool I feel inside, like when I hear these soulful melodies and I hear the women singing in the background, and it feels like the champagne is pouring. It feels like the ocean breeze. You feel me? It feels like we making money, like we living good, like all of that is just like, I just want to capture those vibes for people who never will know that. Nobody else is gonna praise you for that. So I always enjoy to see people who do that work and who get themselves to that level where they feeling themselves the most. I like to see people live in that, live in those moments for themselves. Some people might call them narcissists or whatever it is or whatever, but it's like, If you're jealous of them, just say that, you know. If you mad that you not feeling that way about yourself, just say that, you know. Admit that to yourself, but it takes a lot of work to wake up and feel like you at your best, you know. It takes a lot from you. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of grinding to feel like, all right, now I met my quota. I got enough money to where I feel like I'm able to go spend what I need to spend, you know. I didn't, you know, put in enough work to where my business is operating at this level to where it's functioning where I need it to function, you know. All of that shit comes into play for you to feel like you at your level where you can celebrate yourself, you know. You're not going to be able to just wake up every day of your life and feel that, you know. People have bad days. People have off days. And sometimes that shit lasts a month. Sometimes it could last years, you know, where you just not getting to that point. You just not meeting your quota. You're not, you know, performing to the level you need to perform at for you to feel like where you want to be. So, and I feel that, you know, I could identify with that because growing up, shit came hard. Everything came hard. You know, I had to work. Sometimes I feel like I had to work more than a regular person just to have regular shit, you know? So when I got to that point where I was on and I'm doing my thing, I made sure I made it look good, you know? I'm aware that a lot of people don't know that I even, you know, have this heart condition now, that my life has changed the ways that it has or anything. You know, I know a lot of people just like, oh, Mook, I see you back on your grind. I see you back doing your thing. You know, it look good. You know, they don't know what the last year, they don't know that I'm sober and that I no longer drink champagne every day and smoke an ounce of weed a day type of, because that's what I was on, you know, outside of, you know, just hustling every day, like making it about that. Like that was what it was, but I lived that lifestyle of excess, you know. I lived a lifestyle of excess for a while, and, you know, to be humbled, you know, life gonna humble you. Life humbles you, you feel me? And I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad that it happened. Honestly, I'm glad that it happened when it did. And I'm glad that, you know, not so much that it happened the way it did, but it happened to where I still get to be free. You know, I still get to enjoy my freedom. And I still get to try to, you know, apply myself to, you know, live a better life, you know, to make better choices and do all the things that, you know, those choices could have been taken away from me. My life could, you know, all of that stuff, man. Like, we don't even got to go into all of what it could have been. I get to a point to where sometimes I wish I had my old life back where, you know, I was doing all the partying and, you know, having all the late nights and doing whatever I want. But I think that for the time being, it's just more important to set a good example. You know, like I got a kid and I got other people outside of him, you know, that rely on me and look up to me for what it is that I've always done, you know, and that's always been like a pillar of just, you know, staying solid and doing what I got to do. So it's like if I fall off of that, then, you know, I feel like it just kind of sets the precedent around me that, you know, all it takes is for one thing and then, you know, it's all right to just start slipping up, you know. Man, I just had to change it up. You feel me? I just wanted to. I just wanted to instantly, like, fuck all that. None of that shit matters. The idea of my life being cut short and my son being at the age that he's at, if I die now, he's not going to remember me for real. You know, that was the, like, just the kind of, like, the factor that was like I couldn't get over that part. Cause my father, he passed away when I was I want to say I was 6, and I barely remember him. You know, I got enough memories to where it's like I could remember his face. If I think hard enough about certain memories, I could probably remember his voice. You feel me? But my son was only 3 at the time, and I just was like, he not gonna remember me if I die right now. For a time, it made me more fearful of the world, you know, just to like kind of go through life not really having too many cares of like, oh, this thing could hurt you, or, you know, you're not really worried about stepping out into the street. But, you know, once you got a kid, you think about all that, you know, you second guess a lot of stuff, you know, you just, especially when it pertains to them, you know, a lot of things you probably still don't personally fear for yourself. You now fear for, you know, your child and things like that. Just opened my eyes a lot to me being the type of person that could express things that I didn't know that I was going to be expressing, you know, like having feelings that I didn't think I was going to feel, and being willing to do things that that wasn't like me, you know. So yeah, I used to be pretty not, like I said, I wasn't like a cold-hearted person ever. Like I just used to be kind of an asshole, you know. Like I just would just kind of cut to the point on some things. And now, like I said, I'm a lot more tolerant, and I think that just the me having a child is a huge component in that for sure. I'm looking forward to the music continuing to go up, man, cause I was really on hiatus and I couldn't be concerned with it for a while, bro. I couldn't be concerned with it for a while. Like I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't care about it. I didn't care about creating. But now I'm just back in that mode where, you know, I'm not trying to recover from time lost. I'm not trying to, you know, work overtime to, you know, fill the gaps that I felt like I had left open. You know, I'm just trying to keep it consistent finally, because I've never really been consistent with it. Like I said, it's been 1 foot over here, 1 foot over there, straddling this fence for a long time. And now I feel like I'm finally just focused over here. You know, the hustling is, I could identify with it, and I could apply some of those methods to how I move over here in this world, but that's no longer at the forefront of my mind when I wake up. You know, I'm just focused on creating and, you know, taking that serious. Applying yourself to whatever it is that you feel passionate about is like the most important act out here right now, you know, because a lot of shit fades, you feel me? A lot of shit fades, but sharpening your skills on things that you feel strongly about, you know, those things usually don't fade. If you really passionate about something, if it's something that's a part of you that you inspired to do, you know, like throughout life, you could continue to get better and better until you die. For real, it's like it ain't nobody to say when it's an appropriate time for you to stop trying to apply yourself to be better at something. So I think that just with the art for me and everything I have to do with it, as far as the lifestyle that I live and all that, that's something that I've always applied myself to from the moment I could pick up a pencil, you feel me? Like 2, 3 years old, it's been actively a part of my life, you know? And I'm still doing it at 31 now, you feel me? It's like, I feel like this is gonna be a lifelong thing for me. And I just continue to get better and better at everything that I like try to attribute to it, when I try to apply new things to it, I just continue to hone in on new ways for me to express myself with it. And, you know, that's I feel like the thing that's saving me the most, you know, is inspiring me. It's inspiring the people that surround me. And I just feel like, you know, whatever it is that you're passionate about, you got to keep it going. You know, it's never going to be a good time to stop. You feel me?